spirit, if you will.
What about Soul Calibur, Cervantes?
Cervantes ain't pretentious. Cervantes is a killer.
Cervantes like
he's just confident and knows he just knows he's going to kill you. I don't count the
pretentious. He ain't a nice one. He ain't Jack Sparrow and he ain't Luffy. He gonna kill you. I mean, look, y'all know how Cervantes get down. One of his moves is blocking and then pulling out a gun and shooting you.
Right. Like, this is a sword game. What?
Pick you up with both of his swords and swing you around. Just
That's why in Soul Calibur 2 I got a link and made him regret his life choices. Because I could throw a bomb at you. But since you have showed up, Shadow, pretentious villains, who you got? Your favorite pretentious villain?
Favorite pretentious villain in any video game? I don't know. DDD comes to mind, but probably the most pretentious that I can think of, probably out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Just out of the games you played, who you think is the most pretentious?
Man, Shao Kahn kind of bad, but I'm thinking probably Shang Tsung, because he's not even the most powerful dude, and he still talk mad shit.
Yeah.
He still talk mad mad trash.
My man's all the way in it.
And he
you know who? Jesse.
Who?
No. Well, you know who I didn't think about, and it should have been super apparent because of Final Fantasy VIII. Cypher.
Oh, Cypher, yeah. Cypher was even pretentious in Kingdom Hearts. Like,
how you gonna talk all that trash and constantly get beat?
Yeah. Good old Cypher.
Dude, I'm like, dude, for all the trash talking you do, you should get one win.
Did anybody mention Kefka? Did that get mentioned?
Yeah.
Kefka got mentioned. Yeah. So Kefka did get mentioned.
He definitely needs an honorable mention for sure.
Well, I with Kefka and Sephiroth, I at least give them the benefit of the doubt in some spots because they could actually back up what they was doing.
Right.
But Cypher couldn't back up what he was saying.
Like I don't know if I'll put Gargus up there because he's like needed.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if a Killer Instinct villain that I don't know. Other than
what's
maybe Fulgor himself, I don't know.
No, the cyborg chick from the recent one, the cyborg lady, Arya,
yeah, because she's like the
yeah.
But isn't she officially like the daughter of the whoever owns Ultra Tech like fully? That's the asshole.
Yeah,
the true ass.
Yeah.
They actually need to show him.
Yeah.
Unless it's Geese Howard.
What's up, everybody? Appreciate.
Well, no, they can't say it's Geese Howard unless they want a lawsuit.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean,
Geese is pretty.
And he'd be dead. He'd be dead anyway.
Yeah, he's dead anyway, so he can do it.
You trying to say he died and isekai'd himself for the killer?
Yep.
Can we count Bowser? Because he went viral with a song, so he's kind of like
yeah.
And then I was kind of feeling him in Mario Odyssey. I was feeling his pain. So I don't.
Man, we can't add Bowser because he had the hypest love song of 2023.
Is Peach really the villain? Especially after Odyssey, is she really the villain?
She's the emotional villain of the whole series.
Yeah, she's the emotional villain.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
well, if we're gonna go on pretentiousness, then and we including platformers, then we can't skip out on Robotnik. Ain't no way.
Robotnik. Robotnik takes the cake.
Yeah.
But
the greatest scientific genius in the world.
But he be saying stuff that makes sense though. He's like God. Well, I can't think of his name right now. I keep wanting to say Mufasa. It's not Mufasa. What is his name? Jesus. The villain from Die Hard was the voice of him.
Oh, you talking about Jeremy Irons?
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. He played. Well, he was Mufasa's brother. What's his name?
Yeah, Scar.
Scar.
Yeah, Scar is like. He's like, I'm the villain, but hold up, you about to understand me. You about to feel all this.
I should be king.
Live with my chest.
Yep. He about to hit you with that Joker answer. He gonna be like, look at these people though. Yep. They could be just like you. All they got to do is be unhappy, and they'll be just like me. And you're like, but you're right.
So Chanel has a good point. Blue or Gary from Pokemon Red and Blue, and Silver,
definitely. Yeah. Especially when you get one of his Pokemon killed during one of your fights, and still one come back talking trash.
I'm Team Rocket from the cartoon.
Yeah.
And I actually feel their pain too.
Yeah.
They just need to give up on the team.
They need to find a new employment.
Yeah.
They boss.
Basically. I mean, isn't it screwy though? Because James technically himself could have just funded everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
True.
He could have funded everything, but he chose to slum it. I'm like, was your family that bad, bro?
Yeah.
New Tony Stark. He said, "I quit."
Well, he had a whole woman and everything. Like she was waiting on him. I've been waiting for you to come back, baby.
Yep.
The funny thing about my games, like they are notorious for like having the worst parents ever.
Yeah, that's Pokemon in general. Like, how you just gonna let your kid just go out here randomly in the wild?
Oh, you did like your 10th birthday was yesterday. Get out the house.
Yep.
Pack your shit and leave.
As a time, I think the villains are the parents in both the Pokemon franchise and in the Mother franchise. Because I'm like, these parents are horrible.
Yeah.
Like you just go out like just no curfew, just go and I don't know, being all dangerous.
That's what they really are. They're the actual birth parents.
That's
the worst. Sad thing about it is like they're fighting like drug dealers and gangsters and like,
actually, you know what? As I think about it, out of all the Pokemons, the only Pokemon that's really settled that conversation of not having a parent was Ruby and Sapphire, because your dad is the gym leader. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, what's up, Pops?
And that's a positive upbringing.
Well, but your dad in that one is with you.
Yeah.
Your dad, you don't know where your dad at. All I know is Professor Oak be over the house as soon as I leave.
Yeah, Oak over here just chilling. Oak got his feet up on my table like, oh, you back.
What are you doing over here, boy?
So you didn't die. All right, great.
Crap.
We were not expecting you to return. I mean, didn't you be out collecting books?
You do know there's a legendary Zapdos over in wherever it is. Just go.
Yeah, go over there. I'll send a nurse after you.
Yeah.
He said, I'm over here scanning with my Pokédex. So if you just come back later.
Get out of here. Worst parents of all time, Pokemon. Boy.
I guess with that being said, honorable mention to both Kaiba and what's my man's name with the Millennium Eye, Pegasus. Yeah, shout out to
silver hair. He's got silver long hair, so we should have been picked up on it. God damn. And Merrick.
Merrick too.
And damn. Merrick, Bakura. They all got the same hair.
PSA real quick to all my subscribers that's on right now during this cross stream. I just want y'all to know. I still have all the priorities. So y'all act right. If y'all act wrong in the chat or whatever, y'all can get permanent banned and all that too. So yeah, make sure y'all act right. Don't be acting up on this show. So because some of my folk come in and act wild.
Tom, you are absolutely right.
Absolutely. Woo! My man not only changed his name.
You say here, baby Elon.
Huh? That's what Elon think he is.
Yeah.
Kaiba still did it better.
Yeah.
Yep. And with the latest Versace trench coat.
You know? He showed
So I feel the same way about Xenoblade villains. Like they aren't really villains.
Like, how do you? Z is.
I mean, kind of. But he exists for a function. He's a function, though.
He's a function, but he is pretentious as hell, though, dude. He is hella pretentious, man. Just the way he talks. Oh, he froze out. Looks like he froze out.
Monolith said, "You ain't gonna talk about my game like that."
Well, I've been talking about it for the last 30 minutes. I've been talking about it for the last 30 minutes. Oh well.
He's like, I can hear what y'all got to say because y'all being nice about it, but ShadowCasts, oh no. We not gonna have that today. Not today.
Not today, apparently. Well, we'll have to wait for him to come back. He'll probably see it in a minute. Let's get on to this next one. So I was reading the article the other day, and apparently the Genshin Impact developers say they were completely misunderstood.
Hold on. No. Your name is MiHoYo. You were not misunderstood. You were exactly what you did. Because y'all saw Breath of the Wild come out, and then like any particular typical hoe, you said, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah. You was in the lineup.
The thing is, I think like because I did play a little bit of Genshin Impact when it first released, and I'm like, I couldn't get into it. It was very repetitive.
Yeah.
So for me, I couldn't get into it. But that's not to say the game was bad. For me, when it came out, I tried it. I just felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
You were a lot, and not the same way that Breath of the Wild did it, because at least Breath of the Wild stuff felt different when you move from place to place.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact, no. It felt almost identical wherever you went. You just had different people telling you what to do, and then you had different people that did the same thing to swap in and out. Yeah. I was like, what's the point of it?
Well, the other thing too is I think like because when you play it, you're like, this is not really a Zelda clone. They're trying to do their MMO JRPG. Well, not JRPG, but MMO RPG that's heavily, I guess you say anime based. I guess you could say that. But I understand what they were trying to do. I just think that people jump to conclusions on it. But at the beginning, I can see how people could jump to those conclusions because
that shit looks damn near identical.
Yeah, on the surface, yeah.
On the surface level, yeah. That's one of those situations where I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, I kind of feel bad for them, for the developers, because like I know what they were trying to do. I just don't think that. I know for me playing at the beginning, it didn't grab me enough for me to be like, okay, I gotta play this every week or every time they do something. I'm like, this ain't doing it for me.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think they deserved all the hate either, because I remember that video where dude got so mad he destroyed his PS4 because he thought it was a Zelda clone. I'm like, bruh. First of all,
now that was just stupid. That is.
I ain't destroying nothing I paid for. I ain't destroying nothing I paid for.
Especially not something that expensive. Nah, bro.
So that's how I know he ain't paid for it. That's probably parents paid for that. But that's just like I never understood the acting like that, because I'm like, nah, because it is what it is. I have not played that Star Rail game, but there's a friend of mine that she has a Twitch channel. I've been watching her play. I'm like, it looks interesting, but it's one of those things. It's not for me. So unfortunately, it's not for me. Now, the one thing I did find interesting was it was supposed to come to Switch, but it never did, and it silently just went away. Genshin Impact did. Yeah. So was that because I think Tencent has that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that's what it was? Because there has been no discussion about that at all. Like people just act like, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
It stopped. Whatever they were doing stopped on it.
Yeah. So Because would it work? Oh yeah, it would work on Switch. Because I think it'd have an audience.
It would.
Audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have an audience. Everybody come. Y'all leave a comment. Let us know what y'all think. Do y'all think it would have that one and Star Rail? Do you think that'd have an audience if they were to allow it to come on? And while y'all doing that, I want to say what? What was like last year? I want to say last year we found out Overwatch 2 story mode got reportedly got axed under Bobby Kotick, so they can get the game out.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had planned on getting Overwatch if they had added that story mode in, because I actually kind of like the lore of Overwatch.
Yeah.
I just don't care for that brand of gameplay. I'm not a fan of it. Especially that's why I'm not a fan of the League of Legends proper. But I do love the fact that they're doing all this other stuff with indie studios. Letting them do it so you can actually have different kind of games to play. I wish Activision would do that with Overwatch. If you're not gonna actually do it yourselves, let indie companies do it.
Right. When is that fighter supposed to come out?
They haven't put a date to it yet.
Okay.
So I have no idea. I hope that Project L has at least what the Killer Instinct model was. Just offer a copy where you can actually buy it.
Yeah.
Like a regular price game, and then you can, release the characters as need be. Because right now it's supposed to be free to play.
Yeah.
And I just they gonna make their money some kind of way. Nothing is truly free. So
right.
I mean, I kind of hate that. I wish you just just charge $49 or $39 or whatever for the game. Just charge for the game.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I had a cousin actually try the game out, and he said it was actually really good.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like the people that tried it out at Evo, I've seen a couple of their Twitch channels and YouTube streams, and they said the game is balanced well and they love it. So
that's definitely a positive for him.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm worried about. So hey, Shadow,
killing me, man.
They got you. They got you like they got Andre.
Look, we both got targeted, man. We both got targeted.
I think I lost a whole GPU just now. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
That's what you get when you talk about Jim Ryan.
Yep.
Jim Ryan ain't gonna have it.
Yeah, that's.
He said Xenoblade and Monolith was like the alarm came on in the control room.
We
they were
talk
like,
about our villains.
Hit the kill switch.
You think you are?
So now you got to show the other camera with all the documents you ain't shredded yet in the background. Whatever, man.
Oh man. So let me ask you this, Shadow. If you were over Activision and as soon as Kotick gets walked out of Microsoft's doors, would you reinstate Overwatch 2 story mode? The campaign mode. Would you do
I think it is. I was a fan. Like you should keep that. I don't think it should go away. So I'm more of like, I think every character should be involved in story mode as well. Don't just bring new people in and then they're not explained. So I just really think that and this is Activision Blizzard now, right? So they're under the Microsoft banner, so they have money now. Mm-hmm. So all the excuses should go away.
And it's not just going to the executives.
Yep.
They got the money. All they need is time.
Yep. Yeah. So now you can make an Overwatch 3 or whatever, Overwatch 2 big second campaign season or whatever, or season 7, whatever you want to call it. With everybody involved, with all their little side stories. And
I just don't understand the reasoning behind cutting it when you already did like a 10-minute video, a 10-minute trailer, and a dev video having people hype it up back in 2019.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, they probably ran into some type of budget issues. I would imagine at that point where they just had to cut it. But
the way they make it sound like they did. The way they make it sound like
I don't know if it was honestly. I don't know if it was that or if it's just Bobby Kotick had somebody who he personally disliked, and they put a lot of work into it. So he said we nixed him.
Yeah.
'Cause, like he is that type of motherfucker. We know that.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like he
Oh,
legit
yeah.
like I forgot about the Switch. There's a whole reason why like Call of Duty ain't on it. Like get out of here, bro.
Like, bro, when I heard that, I'm like, okay. And then, of course, people ran with it. I'm like, dude, he had no intention of bringing that to the Nintendo console. He had no
knew it was
intention of
business.
doing that.
There was no. I forgot. It was. I chose not to.
Yeah, because like the thing is, to be completely honest, he was trying anything he could because he didn't want the sale to go through. Because once the sale go through, he know he out of dough.
Yep.
So of course he gonna say that. Like, yeah, I wanted to. I wanted to put it on the system.
But still, why does he? There's nothing for him to really worry about though, because he's still going to get a golden parachute, and he's not.
Yeah, because
he's going to just gonna go somewhere else, or he might even get another division within Microsoft. So
I don't think Microsoft.
I hope that don't happen.
Worst case scenario, he's a CEO somewhere else.
Dude, you know good well the devil ain't doing that.
He'll trade places with Reggie. Maybe he'll be at Nike or something.
Yeah, I mean, there ain't nowhere in the world, not him, because you know how much stuff. That's why I like people quick to forget. Like that dude they still got lawsuits out there.
But he been doing that for so long though, like and getting away with it. So like I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic. But I feel like he just continually will just get away with it and get a golden parachute to go wherever he wants to go.
Yeah, but there's still like I would say that if like, it hadn't been settled, all this stuff hadn't been settled. So I'm like, ooh. Okay.
I mean, look, he might get that golden parachute, but somebody might shoot some holes through it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just one of those. It's just a weird scenario. I don't like that whole legal scenario is going to be strange because like before and after the fact. Because how do you? And then can you afford him countersuing? It's just. When you start talking about big business and stuff like that, man, it's real rough. Like trying to get any type of true resolution for what should happen because they know too many people in the game and they know too many. Like I'm gonna imagine that some of the people that would prosecute him were probably fellows of him at some point, or he has some type of influence over.
All right, blackmail. I was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
My thoughts exactly.
Just butt right in.
That's the way it works.
That's pretty much how that works.
You gonna give me my stage.
All right, so on to something a little bit brighter-ish. Gamescom is coming up next week. We got opening night live Tuesday from Cologne, Germany. Now that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have the live reactions going. Now, I did read something where, because Jeff Keighley is once again hosting this year, but he went on Twitter /X/ whatever Elon want to call it this week, and saying that we need to temper our expectations. And I'm like, you should do that every year, not just this year.
Yeah.
So my thing is there anything that you want to see that you think should be shown? Me personally, I think that Wukong game, what we hadn't seen since
Black Myth,
first of the year,
yeah.
I think that should, and probably some of we don't need to see anything new to be fair, to be completely fair, because we all know how this is gonna go. World premiere,
Of course.
You know, look, we know there ain't gonna be no world premieres.
Do I need this to be shown? I don't need it to be shown. We haven't gotten a treehouse in a while, so I feel like this is like the next thing to it if we get some sort of showing. And I'm sure we'll probably get something closer in October, but Mario Wonder. I would love
RPG. We'll probably get more RPG too.
I would definitely like to see a little more footy on both of those. Just a little something special. You don't really even have to give me the story of what's the whole wonder thing about? Did he trip on the wrong shroom? I hope he tripped on the wrong shroom. I hope everything is my man's got a mushroom, like Bowser tricked him or something, and he like pretended to grab a mushroom, and Mario's like, that mushroom looks important, and then he goes to eat it, and Bowser laughs, and he's just like, he has a whole Zelda adventure in his head, and he's just tripping. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that would just be Super Mario 2 all over again.
Yeah.
I got you again.
Which I'm down for. Look, let's let Mario trip off of a pink mushroom. That's fine by me.
I mean, it is multiplayer, so
Everybody tripping there. Everybody. Look, they even got Peach in on it. They got Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach. They got all of them.
Or if Princess Peach, she's Princess Toadstool, and she go to get the shaking, and some pores just fly out while Mario's there, and he's just like, "Hey, Mamma Mia!" And then like that's he start tripping. You know what I'm saying? he turns into an elephant at that point. Like he's tripping hard.
I mean, the elephant thing is kind of like on the nose, I think.
I mean, literally on the nose.
Yeah. Okay, that was very interesting. I don't think.
Do you want to continue on this level? You got to sniff the ground.
That's rough.
I don't know if I want to watch Mario do that. I don't know if
Daisy
I want to
confirm. What does Luigi do?
Yeah.
The smoke starts coming off the side as he's sniffing. We playing a
Oh man, you know what that makes me think of Yoshi's Island with the little white puff. You hit him and made the whole thing walk.
ESRB rated M.
It's gonna be ESRB rated E for everybody because for some reason nobody ever plays Nintendo games all the way through to tell that how many Kirby games are E, and by the time you get to the end of some old Machiavellian crazy body horror. Like, what in the world is this?
My man's a straight high on that level.
Yeah. So, me personally, I think that it's probably going to be like I wouldn't be surprised if we see like another Spider-Man 2 trailer. Honestly,
Yeah, you're gonna get what's his name? Venom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like stuff we already know about, but probably just a new trailer. I already know that Mortal Kombat's supposed to be there, which makes sense. That game's gonna be dropping in about 3 weeks. So that actually makes sense. For them to be there, because you got to ramp up the advertisement. The only thing is, I don't think it's going to outdo Mortal Kombat 11's launch trailer where they had Test Your Might. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to outdo that. But yeah, I know that's going to be there. I really don't think we're going to see anything new. To be fair, I don't think we're
Probably not.
No, because Starfield is supposed to. I heard Starfield is supposed to come, but they're not. It's not like the demo or anything, which is cool with me.
Yeah,
They're supposed to be having their own event, though, right?
Yeah, they still have their own event.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, but they probably use that as a little teaser and say, "Hey, go here at a certain date and get the full event experience."
I mean, right now people are mad about the screen, about the
How many games have had empty title screens that have been very good games?
Bethesda games at that.
I don't need a title screen that's full of stuff, man. Do Outriders had that? Outriders is not a good game.
Who said that this was a barometer of anything at any point?
I have no clue.
Some random jackass on Twitter.
It was a developer.
Think about this. Okay, any Halo game.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
Yep.
Xenoblade. Like just any start screen. Street Fighter.
Pretty much all of them. But you think of what was I looking? Bayonetta.
Yeah, Bayonetta.
Yep. It just says Bayonetta.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. What was the comment?
Shit, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. All they say is Resident Evil, and then you get whatever number it is. It was never a problem before, but now it's a problem.
Like
we can't have a blank splash screen.
Did Mario 64 just start something where it just has to be an interactive start screen and you got to play around? Like,
yeah,
even then,
if that was the case, everybody been failing since that game been out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like even Mario Galaxy didn't even do that. So like,
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom don't do that. It's just it's just Adobe Photoshop with that's scrolling. That's
Ocarina, Ocarina and Wind Waker are the only ones that I can remember that really do something like that.
And even then, that's just in engine. It's just
It's like
showing
Ocarina of Time is just him riding
the opponent.
Yeah.
Like it ain't really nothing really. And I mean, Twilight Princess was the wolf.
Yeah.
For a little bit, he goes from the horse, him riding the opponent, to him turning the wolf, and then he howls, and then the screen logo comes up.
Yeah. Like Bransfield said, the dude's just trolling, obviously, because there's no way, like, you can't be serious about that. Because
we talked about it. We talked about it last night, and I'm like, and looking even at the screen, because you don't get like a GIF or anything like that. My assumption is when you see that screen, at most either the star is going to appear in and out of the planet, or you're going to see some slow rotation of the planet, but you're not going to see any like real context of the planet other than it being a circle. You know what I mean?
You know,
like,
as a hardcore gamer, I need my screens to be fully interactive. I mean, I paid all this money to see 385 frames a second. I will have 385 frames a second.
You playing a screen. That's that you playing a title screen at that. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, it blew my mind when, like you said, when Mario 64 did it. That blew my mind. Like, you sit there and actually play and interact with it. But like you said, how many screens have any kind of interaction? And as soon as you hit the start button and you go into that main menu, like, who really sits there besides Skyrim? And I made this big point. Skyrim is the only one that I know of as of late to have like a title screen. I'll literally sit there the whole time for just because I want to hear the music on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
well, that's different because you're trying to listen
Metroid
to
Prime, maybe.
Prime,
but you're listening to the music though.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're not doing anything else. You're just listening to the music. So,
like, Xenoblade, it turns dark. So you at least get this. It's a true environment, and it's changing. Like, they're showing you day and night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you're just listening to the music of the title screen. It's not you're gonna hear it, and it doesn't really matter whether you see it on the title screen or not. So I don't know. It's just really odd to me because that choice, you're basically blowing out like 98% of the entire gaming market at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Every fighting game, every puzzle game, like Tetris is one of the biggest gaming franchises in history.
Yeah,
you
really gonna, like, come on, man?
We need more complaints about this. If you're gonna complain about this, you need to start. Keep that energy.
Yeah, keep that energy.
Keep that energy. Spider-Man come out. Make sure you complain about it when there's nothing on the title screen.
That part.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if this dude is trolling anyway, he's probably going to do it.
Oh, wait. I forgot. I forgot. Sony always wins, baby. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever they do is exempt. So
the title screen doesn't matter. We were actually talking about the actual game. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Then all the goalpost moves happen because and I'll drink my Sony water.
Well, I mean, and I'm not trying to say this to put any bad juju on the game, but all we saw could have just been the instances in the game where it worked well, and the rest of the game could be garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So just. And it's not like that hasn't happened before, where they show off the good parts, and then everything else is just hot trash.
I mean, it's happened on multiple occasions.
So I wouldn't even run with that one.
Yeah.
Just wait for the game to actually be out, and let's see what happens with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hope. That's hopeful. That's being hopeful, though. It's nice to be hopeful.
So somebody got to do it.
Kind of. Hopefully.
But if Nintendo doesn't do what everybody else does, then they're doomed. Like, they've been doomed since
1983.
Yeah, 1880. Was it 1887? I think it was.
Yeah, when they opened the Hanafuda.
Hanafuda cards. Everybody stopped doing Hanafuda cards, so Nintendo is doomed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
the gaming crash happened. Nobody's doing video games anymore, so Nintendo is doomed. How dare you start a gaming company or make your own console in 1983? How dare you? After being a third party.
Like, you lost your mind?
Have you lost your mind? You're gonna make a gaming console right in the middle of a crash? What? Everybody else ain't doing that. Why would you?
And Nintendo's going under. They're doomed. They should go third party.
And why in the world are you?
They already were third party. Been there, done that.
And why is your main character a fat Italian plumber with a red hat?
Yeah.
And why is he fighting an ape?
Yeah, why is he doing that?
And the turtle.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't complaining about him when he was in Wrecking Crew and Donkey Kong, but now he's the main character, so it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We like the giant monkey. And you made the dude that fought the giant monkey the main character in the game. We don't like that. His nose is big. Stop.
How dare you? How dare you? And God forbid, he's played by Chris Pratt.
Like,
how dare you?
Like Uncle Ruckus said, he's sucking up all the air.
Be more. I agree. I don't understand why we don't have folders. I don't understand why we don't have themes. I don't understand why we don't have Walmart Plaza.
Because other people said they didn't want it, and the menu sucked, and the Wii U sucked, and everything about Wii U sucked, and Nintendo saw their numbers, and they said people are using social media more, so we'll kill it.
So we killed it.
Which is, but the thing is, everything everybody's complaining about with this console now is everything they already had and said they didn't want.
I have been saying it. Yeah, dude, I have been saying it since the Switch dropped in 2017. This is the biggest FU I've ever seen to the gaming community.
Switch validated Wii U like nobody else, man. That's all it did.
The biggest FU to the gaming community.
But let's be clear though. Let's be clear though. They wanted this the whole time during the Wii U times. Mm-hmm. They just pretended like they didn't want it the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then when it was gone, they were like, we were asking for this the whole time. And we love the system that came with it. And it's just so unfortunate that not everybody else. Not me though. I was there.
Not me.
But everybody else though.
And that what Brian Altano told us, Shadow?
That popular opinion didn't affect me at all. My favorite gaming magazine didn't affect me at all. My friends in the schoolyard didn't affect me at all. I clearly wanted that thing. I wanted it, and I'm mad now that it's $450 per bundle, and Xenoblade is $300 right now sealed. I love it. It's gonna be over there. Xenoblade Chronicles. I love it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like $300.
Oh yeah, physical edition of that one too. Yeah.
So now I'm exactly why. Not even the collectors. Just the regular. Remember I showed you it was like $250.
Try to buy Devil's Third if you want to, but that game's trash. Try to buy it.
Oh my gosh, I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, bro.
I actually want them to port that. I really want that game ported.
Taminobu Itagaki. Anyway,
I know he's an ass, but it would be nice if we got ported.
Yeah, I mean, bro did it to himself though. Jeez.
Itagaki like, give me money anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That game could have been so much better if they didn't fucking listen to the crowd and just stuck with what they were doing.
Yeah, because what they were doing was actually fun.
But I think the majority of the problem was them forcing it because so they were stuck with Unreal Engine 3, right?
Yeah.
So
no, they changed over to that because they were they had an original engine they were building and they changed over to that because people complained.
So I wonder if it was a shooter all the way through, like, and they
cover shooter.
Yeah, like if they did that all the way through in Unreal Engine 3, I wonder how smooth that game would have been.
It probably
would have been really good. It probably been very smooth, but because they wanted that close quarters combat, they should have never changed over. They should have left it alone and worked with what they had.
Which kills me because you're talking about it got like you do that. This is the thing that you do.
That's him, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what you think about the guy, the dude is a hell of a developer.
Yeah.
I don't know why he got nervous. I have no idea why he got nervous.
Yeah, I would have never doubted the game. The concept on paper, like I would have never doubted it. So it's just, a sad state of affairs all the way around. But That and it accordingly being stuck on Wii U because things are stuck on Wii U. I don't know. I just put the disc in and it works. I don't no install. I just play.
All I know is I missed the Miiverse.
Yeah, that's true.
That was definitely one of the victims of this changeover.
So my thing is though, do you think Nintendo would have? I think Nintendo still would have killed it though, because
their reasoning, end of life anyway.
Their reasoning had nothing to do with Wii U sales.
The thing was, it was at the end of the life cycle anyway.
Yeah, and nobody was using it the way they thought it would. So even the percentage of I think the percentage of use of Miiverse would have gotten worse the more people that they had. Like if the percentage would have been proportional to how many users that say instead of 13 million, it was 40, 50 million. The percentage would have still been the same of use. So because people were just like, I'll just go on Twitter or I'll just go on Facebook versus, and I don't know why people thought that, but that's what they ended up doing.
Well,
I think it would have. I think it would have helped. Oh, go ahead.
Well, the fun thing about it was they had Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. You only got Twitter and Facebook on this. It's like you had Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. So I didn't once again, I don't know why that was the issue, but whatever.
I think it would have hit off if they would have took it to the next level. I
think so too. And they were in the middle of updating it, so they were making some changes that were actually pretty good, and then they axed it.
Yeah, if it even had even an inkling of similarity to Twitter, where you can just access the whole account just via your PC or your phone and it just be just like that. I think it would have took off a little better.
Because it took too long for them to add the web version. And by the time it came, you still couldn't do everything you could do on the Wii U.
Yeah,
which was kind of weird. And I think they should have. So the problem was they didn't have the account system set up to begin with. So the Nintendo account thing happened in the middle of the Wii U's life cycle. So you didn't have that one-stop login and see everything. It was still there was a separate thing over here and a separate thing over here. There were 3 different ways to interact with your account on Wii U and on Nintendo.com. So that kind of killed it too, because people were like, look, I got 3 different passwords, or this isn't matching, or I'm getting logged out over here whenever I log in over here. And it was a whole thing. There was no persistence anywhere. That was kind of...
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back at some point.
It probably is.
I feel like if it's...
It won't be the way though, but it might.
No. I feel like it will come on. Let's call it whatever the revolutionary system is at that time. I think as an operating system, we will know what it is, but it'll be shown up in some sort of different form that's more accessible to people. And I think at that time they'll have all those ducks already lined up in a row. Side note, Flash, because we live in the times that we do now, expect somebody from the media to be like, I accessed this page before system came out, and a friend I know who is a friend is telling me this is the thing, this is the operating system. Expect that to be a piece. But I feel like I feel like Nintendo doesn't necessarily give up on things. They just kind of are like, this didn't work. We'll put this up here. We'll come back to it in a minute. And then just when things kind of come back around, somebody's like, you remember this? Let's see let me just take this off and look over here and figure out how can we implement this and that.
So Dennis PC Gaming in the chat kind of put it right. He says Series X has community system like Miiverse, but it's completely dead. I get why Nintendo dropped it. So I watched that from the beginning. So directly after Miiverse came out and it got a little bit of following, because it started going viral with little stuff like why can't Metroid crawl? As soon as that happened, that's when Microsoft and Sony started creating pages for games. And everybody else remembers this too, right? Like it happened on Xbox One, it happened on PlayStation 4. All of a sudden, communities started popping up for games. Now there's tabs for games. And it was so decentralized, and it was trash. Like you go on there, you try to upload a video or whatever, and then you get all these notifications if you got the app, or all these notifications on your console, and they blow your shit the fuck up every time you sign in, and it was horrible. So it was nothing like Miiverse, where it was so centralized and kind of like closed in and focused. Also, you can see people that posted whether they played the game or not, which was real critical. So that was part of the thing that kind of differentiated from other forms of social media, even on other consoles. And like I'm a big fan of Killer Instinct. The Killer Instinct fan community was trash on Xbox One and on Series X. Like it's garbage. Like you can't really find anything, and they throw a whole bunch of quote unquote feature stuff in your face, and it's like, I just did this combo and I thought it was really cool. I did this manual, whatever, with like 3 fucking hard hits that shouldn't time right, but I got it to work. Like I just want to post this, and the people that follow me see it. It doesn't work right at all. So
the thing is, I would say this: like when the Miiverse was at its best the first 3.5 years of the Wii U, that thing was Nintendo had that thing locked down tight and smooth.
Clean.
Yep.
Man, it's so smooth. Like that's why people were sitting there saying you'd have like Shuhei Yoshida be like, yeah, dude, I love using Miiverse.
Yeah.
His words, not his words.
Especially for Mario and stuff like that. Yeah. And they would just close. You wouldn't exit out of the game, but it would pause it just indefinitely for you. You could see it on the top, and you could see it on the tablet. Type what you want, do your little drawing or whatever, and then just post it and be like, all right, go. Now I'm back in the game. Bye-bye.
Yep.
And just getting right into it. Like that was clean.
Yeah. Dennis PC Gaming, you are absolutely right. Because people used to battle us about achievements. Like, dude, they got custom achievements.
Made a whole video about this. Go subscribe and like, and you can watch the video about this.
The other thing too that I do miss about it is the artwork. Man, there's some talented dang artists do on them cats.
For sure,
bro.
Like, extreme detail.
I'm like, y'all are off the chain.
And let's be real, the Wii U gamepad and the depending on what kind of stylus you use, because you can use any kind of stylus with it, but it wasn't. It was resistive touch instead of capacitive touch, so you had to be really talented to get that to work right.
It's crazy because it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have been.
I mean, I remember me and you, Shadow, we were talking about it. Like, dude, they had for all the sports fans, they had the best ticker out of anything.
Yep, and it goes straight to social media. You could watch a game, and while you're watching the game, and you didn't need the TV to do it. You just pull it out, play, and talk trash. Look at scores.
That TV app on the Wii U was off the chain.
That was clean too. I watched all my games.
That's why I'm like, I'm sitting there like, it's like every time Iwata had something that was ingenious, people would basically shit on it.
They put it in, so they integrated it with Netflix for like 2 or 3 weeks here, and I think it died. So like, it was a point where you could watch Netflix on the Wii U. And both of y'all were linked together. You weren't watching it together, but you could join a chat together on TV Tag, and you could talk about the show while you're watching it or whatever.
Because people were talking about shows regular shows than doing that.
Yeah, and you could do that. It was just crazy how you could sync up and do that versus some other stuff. And now, like, I mean, it doesn't matter now because now Apple's doing it and whatnot. And
everybody's doing it.
No matter what device you have, you can sync up and do a watch party. But then like Sony and Microsoft chased that like real quick because they were like, oh, that's kind of cool, let's go. And then they started trying to do it, and and specifically Microsoft, because the whole goal was the Xbox One was supposed to be the TV box. Connect your DVR to our box, connect whatever to our box. And they saw Nintendo doing stuff and they're like, hold up, wait, we got to do that too. So
it was supposed to have been the centerpiece of your living room. That's how it was marketed.
And Nintendo's over here not even trying. They're just like, we made your whole gamepad a remote. And
a good universal remote, by the way. A very good universal remote, by the way.
Oh yeah. I hate that they deleted the update thing. It still works as a regular universal remote, but when it had the full update, it had like all the support, all the extra buttons and whatnot. Like all the menus were like touch of a button. was faster than any remote or whatever system you had on your cable box. So, it was ahead of its time, man. It's crazy, and nobody will ever know. But since all of it's been recalled, you can't see that stuff anymore.
Nope.
But now you got, but it trends every month.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Every month.
I don't know how many times
all the time.
Yeah.
Good.
Every month.
Yeah.
It is literally the most recent Dreamcast we'll know about for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Dreamcast, man, Dreamcast was so good. Them games so good on Dreamcast, man.
That was just Sega money problems that killed that, because the system was successful. It's just
Sega was already successful.
If you already in the red, that wasn't gonna help it. And they was deep in the red.
Yep.
Because they kept putting like
they should have never came out with the Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what if they was already working on Dreamcast, which apparently they were.
JB's were kind of right though. Nintendo did the Wii U no favors. 2011 to 2012 was a weird time, right?
Yep.
So you had the biggest fault I think Nintendo had was trusting gaming media. They learned that lesson the hard way, right?
They learned quick though. They learned real quick.
They learned real quick not to trust gaming media. They learned not to trust third party too. Honestly, I think they should have learned that in 2010 with the 3DS. Yeah. They should have learned that real quick. Like, hey, we open our entire launch window to you third party, go. And they're like, no, we're not going to support you. So like, it's just one of those things. Like, y'all complained and said y'all got to compete with our first party on your platform. So here we go with a platform for you to jump on, and you do nothing. Oh, okay. Yep. And they did the same thing with Wii U and got burned again. And I'm like, I don't.
And then
so like they learned those lessons.
First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me.
Yes. And then so from 2010 to 2012 was a weird time where apparently dubstep was popular, right? Mm-hmm. Like real weird, like it was going to be world popular instead of being a weird 90s thing in the UK. They decided to do this launch campaign and it was absolutely trash with regards to the commercials and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They were targeted at adults actually the entire time. But for whatever reason, you know, like the gaming media and stuff, they still just want to paint it towards kids and everything until Nintendo said, okay, we'll target it towards kids in like 2014, Christmas 2014 and whatnot. And by then it was too late. So, but early on, they did these weird dubstep commercials of people in cubes for some reason, and they weren't GameCube commercials. It was like they were trying to do the Wii U, the GameCube ads all over again. They were doing these like apartment rooms and showing people playing with the Wii U. And I mean, one of them was great for the UK one because it actually showed a married couple, and she's like, "I want to watch this," and the husband's like, "I don't want to watch this trash." Okay, well, whatever. I'll sit here and I can do this while you watch it or whatever. And that kind of like resolved the issue. So stuff like that. These are the things that everybody now sees as a good thing with Switch. They were there for Wii U for the whole time. This is the things I was seeing in Wii U initially. So everybody's like, "Oh, I can play the Switch because I don't have to blah, 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 blah." And then you look at what these people are talking about. They're talking about not going outside of their house. They're talking about playing inside of their house and not having to use a TV. I'm like, that's what Wii U is for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why the other thing that I will say about that is like I found it real funny that everybody has amnesia now. Like it's in regards to like gaming media, they have a severe case of amnesia, and then on top of that, you have like the amnesia, the constant begging for ports, just begging for ports. That's why I'm like, look, man, when Iwata did what he did in 2013 with Nintendo Directs, I'm like, y'all done. Y'all are done because you pissed them off. You should have never pissed them off. When they kept
the crazy thing is Nintendo did everything they wanted.
Yeah,
they wanted third party to have a chance. They installed all the third party apps because you said, "Hey, Nintendo consoles they're not adult like because they don't have the entertainment stuff on. Like all the entertainment stuff is on here. I just showed you like a whole screen full of everything: Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, Crunchyroll. Everything was on here. So like, and if you wanted to, you didn't even have to hack the thing. You could build your own web server, and there was an app called VDU on here for either PC, Mac, Linux, whatever, and you could stream whatever content you wanted to this or your TV.
Yep.
And people were like, "Oh, it's not a multimedia thing or whatever." I'm like, okay, cool. It launched with third-party games. It had the most M-rated games for any launch cycle. The most games period for any launch cycle. It was like 29 games launched for this system day one. So, like, can you think of 5 or more games that launched for the PS4 day one?
No,
because all I can think of is like Resogun and Sega Son, and I can't really think of anything else other than maybe an indie game, Road Legacy. I think maybe.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything else that launched day one for PS4.
So the irony is, when you were talking about, them waiting for third party, it seems to be like that's like the Nintendo, and I don't understand. I don't understand like how this works, but it always seems to be the Nintendo thing to be like for third party. It's like, okay, we ain't gonna give y'all nothing until y'all prove yourselves that y'all can sell these consoles. And they're like, okay, but we are opening this up because your biggest complaint is y'all can't compete with us. So like, we ain't gonna have nothing on here. Y'all can go at it. Y'all can get the sales and all that other stuff. But then when it comes to a Xbox and a PlayStation 4 thing, they're like, this is the next generation. We got to jump on here now. Like, we got to get on here now. And then you see PlayStation or Sony and Microsoft, and they're like, well, our games are going to come within like, well, they just drop when they just drop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
PS4 was like, Ghost Town.
Yeah. Well, the other thing
too with
that was when they with all that, like Nintendo had to learn how to do the HD stuff. They weren't doing that. That's the whole reason why they let them have the whole first year.
Yep.
But you saw what happened once they learned it.
Yes. It all flips back around. And it's crazy. It's crazy because you would think even after the initial like switch, like we're even talking about companies like even now is like, yo, why don't you do that? Like looking at Rockstar, it's like, yo, why don't you do that yourself? And like, yeah, do I give them any real credit for being like, okay, like we're gonna shake your hand now, but it's gonna be somebody else shaking your hand. We're just kind of in agreement. Like now
you gotta drag them kicking and screaming.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll let somebody else do that for us, but just know like yeah, we're gonna do some stuff too. So it's like why do they have to jump through hoops and hurdles for a third party to do something? But then you look at, and I know what it is. I'm Shadow's about to say it, but then you got the Sony and the Microsofts, and they're like, yo, like we need to get there. We need to get there. We need to be on top of this. And I know it's a lot with the the fees and all that other stuff. That's a huge part of it. But even looking back at it, you're looking at like Ubisoft. You know what I'm saying? Like Ubisoft were one of the first people on the Wii U to be like, yo, support. Regardless of what we're doing, like we support.
They honored the contracts.
Yeah.
They actually honored the contracts.
Yeah. When the Switch came around, everybody was just like, we kind of got burned with Wii U, so we not gonna drop anything. You like, but where'd y'all get burned at? Y'all was never there in the first place.
Yeah, I was never there. That's why.
One or two games that never came back.
That's why I went so hard at like Brian Altano. I will never forgive Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty at IGN because I'm like, y'all are part of the problem.
Yeah,
exactly.
Y'all were part of the damn problem, and you saw how mysteriously a certain section of their entire video library just up and disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's great. I think was it me and you? Like for like a whole day, we were scrubbing through all the stuff, just trying to find them and the stuff that they were talking about during E3 2011, not 2012. E3 2011.
They scrubbed that whole.
They scrubbed all
2011 to 2013. They scrubbed all of it. Because that's back when Rich and Audrey were there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like,
so and when I mean scrub, I mean you can't even find it on Wayback Machine. You go back to Wayback Machine and it's gone. But you look at something like just a month before E3 2011, it's there. They literally gutted everything from 2011 to 2013.
That's
which
why
is
I was
insane.
like, I will never have respect for Greg Miller or Colin Moriarty. I will never have respect for them doing.
If you go to any article talking about their perceptions of the Wii U after or when it was presented, all those articles are edited. And they're edited post date like 2013, 2014 or so. And you can't find a Wayback Machine version of it, so you can find the original article the way it was written.
Yes.
So they know. But there's this video still on YouTube where you can go back and find some of that stuff. But a lot of that stuff gets scrubbed too. I've seen a couple of them pulled down.
I will say it is funny they still got that dumbass video of them trying to prove they weren't fanboys after Yoshida called them out. That's the one they should have scrubbed.
Still there.
It's
still
funny
there
because excuse me, that was a horrible burp. Is because you think about one of the memes that really came out of that time was Owada's "Please Understand," and you think about how many times that man had to say, no, please understand. You know what I'm saying? No, please understand. Like it, and like Jay said, it got to a point where it just pissed him off. You know what I'm saying? Like that last please understand. Like I ain't gonna tell you to please understand no more. Like we just gonna take this in our own hands.
He basically screwed over the entirety of Western media when he said, "All right, we're just gonna bring our information directly to our viewers."
Yeah.
When he did that, and then what really screwed up the rest of what really screwed up third party and IGN and game trailers at the time. Remember Jeff Keighley on that Treehouse Live. When he did that, now can't nobody compete because now not only do you have the gameplay being shown, you got the developer sitting right there and they talking to him, and Bill Trendon or somebody else is actually translating. It's not somebody that they can't trust. It's one of them translating while they're playing. Bruh, you're done.
Yeah, that was the real. I still to this day think that's the real reason why E3 is not a thing now. It's like the change in the Marco, and the refusal to realize. Like,
so you pissed off the wrong one.
But we knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to force the hand of Nintendo to fold. Well, that's what they wanted to happen because the third parties wanted it to happen.
Well, the other thing too was like every other article was they need to go third party. I'm like, Nintendo only had one true failure system, and that was Virtual Boy. The Wii U, all the Wii U had to do was sell one game and one system. They was making a profit.
They were still making a profit.
So
and
what are you talking about?
On top of that and everything else.
Yeah, so he's like, dude, they're making the money, and plus Nintendo didn't have. It wasn't like Nintendo was two companies, Nintendo Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. That's all their money. People didn't understand that because the 3DS was still bringing in.
It was still banking,
I'm like, dude, so they still making money because once again, for some reason, nobody can figure out how to compete with Nintendo in the handheld space because all they had to do was drop Pokemon. That's all they had to do.
And all the way up until recently, Wii U was selling games at a ratio of like 7-1. It just dropped to like 6-1, maybe a couple of years ago. So like they were making hand over fist in profit, even on the quote unquote failed console that caused them operational losses. So they got that money back regardless.
But still made them a profit.
They were still in the green at the end of the day.
Yeah, they were still in the green. Meanwhile, Microsoft. How many years has Microsoft's game division been in the green?
The PS3 and the 360 are responsible for $8 billion worth of losses between Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, has the game division of Xbox ever been in the green? I don't think it ever has. So.
No,
I don't think it ever has.
I don't think so.
To be honest, now numbers may get inflated because you ain't trying to show that because that's like I don't care what business you in. $2 billion losses is unacceptable, and they didn't have that twice.
They might be making money on Series X right now, but they're still losing money on Series S.
That's probably because of Game Pass. It's probably because of
Oh, I was gonna say it's because the Series S was holding back the generation, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm like,
that part.
yeah, I'm just sitting up here just looking. I'm like, why? Like I said, that reading that book, asking why. I'm like, bro, when you get into his mind, I'm like, I see why Yamauchi made you the successor. You just as cold blooded.
Mm-hmm.
He's just nice about it.
Yep.
He's nice.
So just to touch on that point a little bit about the Treehouse Live situation, for people that don't understand the history, before Treehouse Live and why Treehouse Live had to happen, before that, editors, journalists would go to live demos and vertical slices of games shown at E3, and the journalists would speak to developers then at the time, right? And they talk about the game and stuff like that, and they get rough translations of what's happening and whatnot. Then they go and write articles about what they saw and what they heard from the developers. None of this stuff, usually this stuff was never recorded live. It was just them, and then they write their article after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when all of gaming media is purchased by third parties, and third parties don't want one of the console manufacturers in the picture anymore? Then they start saying, hey, look, make sure whatever articles you write don't say anything glowing about this system. No matter what's going on here, when you have this interview, start saying negative things about the system. And you start getting weird interviews, weird postmortems, or weird previews about games, talking about frame rate issues and all that. All these issues are going to be in any kind of preview version of a game because it's a demo.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Right? So, but they would specifically talk about that just for the Nintendo version of the game, going all the way back to like GameCube. And they would create these articles that were really targeted towards Nintendo in particular, and talking about how they don't need to be a part of the competition. And they would kind of massage that in all of the articles going forward. So Nintendo's brilliance of saying, not only are we going to take that away from you, we're going to take that away from you with the developer sitting right here. So for any questions that are asked, they're managed and they're massaged by us and not you. So now press can't go back and say, well, this game is doing this and this and this, and I was really seeing issues here and here and here, because Nintendo already made a full video of that game in preview mode and told you everything about it on a technical level from the developer while they're sitting there, and from Nintendo PR while they're sitting there talking about the game. So now IGN, GameSpot, whatever, can't go back and say, well, when we saw our version of the game, it looked like this. Nope, everybody got the same version of the game, and we streamed it live to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't. There's no bullshit now. There's no bullshit articles, or people can call you out now.
Right.
So that was the importance of the Treehouse Live then at the time.
The one thing I did find that was actually funny though, I want to say probably around 2014, 2015, everybody started loving Treehouse Lives.
Mm-hmm. 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 Ooh, this one right here. Whoever Lootbox is. Yeah, this one right here. He said Colin on a recent podcast has said he'll do any podcast if people reach out. He's been on quite a few recently. I think it'll be an interesting conversation if you guys actually got him.
Nah.
I'll put him on the ShadowCast. He can come on the ShadowCast.
Y'all don't want me. Y'all do not want me on the podcast. You know, I'm telling you.
Hey, send him my ad on Twitter. Send him my ad on Twitter. At ShadowFox Arcade. He can hit me up.
Do not want me on the podcast with him. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. That's not what you want. That's really not what you want.
He can hit me up.
Like, him and Greg, you do not want me on the podcast with them, because I'm not taking no prisoners. So, no.
I'm going straight for the throat.
Respectfully.
My first thing is going to be, hey, you did a Colin Was Right episode about the Nintendo Switch. How'd that turn out? Did that age well?
Respectfully, just respectfully, I don't think it's a good idea for me to be on anything with either of them. So, just respectfully, I would not do that.
Hey, and for real though, y'all follow me in the chat. Send them my ad. Tell them how to.
Yeah,
we can schedule a date and time. Mm-hmm. I'll burn his ass for 3 hours.
He gonna click on you. Hello?
With dates and times, like during this interview, you said this. During this review, you said this. Where we at?
Nah, cause see, I got. I'm petty. I'm petty. I'm way too petty. I'm just way too petty for that. So nah, I'm good. I would not even reach out to him. I'm good. Bring my chi down.
That was the other thing too. As journalists, they weren't inherently technical. These are English majors. But at the time, there was no Digital Foundry. So they were the quote unquote experts, and they would sit here and talk about space and consoles and they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So prior to 2013 or so, it was just them. And they would say all kind of things about frame rates and this and that and whatever. And they didn't know what they were talking about.
Y'all know how I love to bring up the whole ray tracing with water, right? Y'all know why I bring that up, right? Shadow, you want to tell them? Shadow, you want to tell them?
I'm drinking my Sony water.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
Sony paid for this shirt. Look, man, I'm probably gonna do a video on this. So, like, right after the podcast I did talking about Digital Foundry, they put out a short that directly goes to the middle of a podcast that they did where they just kind of admitted that teraflops don't mean shit.
It don't.
They don't mean shit comparing two of the same architecture.
Yeah.
Because people have different tasks and what they want to do, whatever, right? So they definitely don't mean shit between different architectures.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to uncomfortably say this. They had to uncomfortably talk about how ray tracing isn't really meeting the mode, or how they have to like reduce frame rates and shit. Like things that we already knew. If you follow me, you knew this was happening, right? You knew I was going to be right about this. It just like all you have to do is look at how PC struggled with it in 720p before they came out with a console that was weaker than the average PC at the time in CPU compute. Like, we're not even talking about the fact that it's going to have less memory or that the GPU was going to be the thing that had the most voltage in it, and it was still going to be lower than the voltage of your PC. So it's just bad, man. But everybody knew this was coming. And they eventually had to not be the thing that you lean on, because everything that they said was at the time that they were hyping up was bullshit.
I mean, it's like, I mean, when the first thing come out your mouth is, you can't talk about the game. Like, I go back to the Al-Numa, that 13-minute Al-Numa Tears of the Kingdom presentation. Now, one time did he bring up frame rates? Not one time did he bring up resolutions. He just talked about the game. He talked about the game. And he still didn't show us everything, because he could have told me about the depth and how he got a goddamn armor and Lionel down there that I can't beat. That being said,
guess what Digital Foundry said in that same video? Oh, it just seems like resolution and frame rate is on a case-by-case basis, and it depends on the developer's vision.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, so it's one of those things where you like, if I'll put it like this. I will put Nintendo's Garage team up against any developer around and let them do a game and see what happens.
Are they even the Garage team anymore? Because they got to be seasoned by now.
I don't know what the new name is. I don't know what the new name is, but I just keep calling them Garage because that's what I know. So
yeah,
I mean, because those cats, like, they learned their system, and bruh, you can't compete with that. Like, nobody can compete with that. One second. Hi, Vicky.
So she's in.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't compete with that. You can't compete with like a team that actually knows the system and knows their engine and know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compete with it. I mean,
remember what Factor 5 was doing when they were back with the 64?
Yeah. I mean, when I'm sitting up and I hear like anonymous senior developer from EA says this, but then I go and hear Kazuhiro Harada and Atsushi Inaba, and I'll be like, nah, dude, it's actually easy to develop for. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna believe the anonymous person. I'm gonna believe the actual person that put their name to it.
The only third party today that I'll like if they said anything and I would listen to is probably going to be Bandai because they work hand in hand with, and that's kind of even a stretch too because there was a Bandai time where they were like Kakarot ain't never gonna get on the Switch.
They said it twice. They said fighters couldn't run. They said it couldn't run, and then they said Kakarot could not run. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, once it hit like certain threshold, magically it appeared.
Yep. Oh, we didn't. It was after Smash, and they showed us some secrets, and it can work now.
Nah, man, it was after they sold. It's after they sold 50 million. You like
that was the secret.
Yeah, that was the secret. I mean, that's why I'm like when I look at like Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 runs in the RE engine. You can't tell me that game can't run on the Switch. Why? Because Monster Hunter Rise is sitting on the Switch, and it's made in what? The RE engine.
And now they got what? What just came out? Resident Evil? Was it Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
That's
it's
the
in
remake?
the RE engine. Yeah. I'm like, it's still in the RE engine.
Whoa. Okay. So we're just gonna skip 1 and 2 and just go straight to 4. Okay.
They got 2 and 3 in the RE engine, but you want to put the cloud version up.
Yeah.
It's in your engine.
Oh, okay.
You've already worked with the system, so you can't lie and say you don't know how to work with the system. Right. You probably got 15 dev kits sitting in Capcom right now.
So 2 and 3 was more technologically advanced than 4. Okay. That's okay.
Even though to be completely fair, 4 I don't want them to put that new one on there because I need my Wii remote and chuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I need my Wii remote and chuck. They can go somewhere with that over the shoulder. Okay, whatever. Give me my motion control. I'm good. Give me my motion control. I'm good. Nothing gonna beat that Wii remote and chuck when it comes to accuracy in the shooting game. I'm sorry. That's just facts.
Whole facts.
All right, so we hit an hour and a half. We're gonna close it down tonight. I'm gonna push our accessories talk to next Saturday. So, peeps, next Saturday we're gonna be having the WinginIT podcast. It's gonna be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. Why? Because we got a special guest coming through, and he lives over in England. So I didn't want to have him up all night at our usual time on a Sunday. So we're gonna run it on Saturday at 3 in the afternoon. All right.
He's another podcast, brother. That's what's up.
Yeah. So I will be reminding people in Discord and on Twitter and in the community tab. So just to let you guys know, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be having an episode of the podcast. So next week it won't be Sunday; it'll be Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, don't forget Gamescom. We will be doing a live reaction. I'll boot it up probably around 1:45, 1:50 because it's supposed to start at 2 on Tuesday. So the chat will be open as always, and we're going to see what they got in store. Hopefully, it's a good showing. I'm hoping it's a good showing. I'm so hoping it's a good showing.
It's just got to be even a decent showing for it to be a pass for me at this point.
Yeah, because the last couple of games The
tweets out there. Sandstorm don't put it out. Okay.
Right.
Did I actually do that? Oh, my bad. I thought it was my editor that
Yeah. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, Andre did drop out. Crap. All right. All right. So, Shadow, anything you want to trip out before we get out of here?
ShadowCast this week. I don't know if that guy, I don't know if Colin will show up, but if he does, then that'd be great. If not, then we could just talk about the rest of the console war bullshit because that's exactly what it is and why it exists. In addition to that,
the companies don't like it. The media does because Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo don't make money off that.
Nope. The media does, and they perpetuate, and third parties do as well.
Yeah. Well, some of them do. The bigger ones do.
Yeah.
All of them don't. Because you hear some of them be like, man, y'all need to stop with that. We need to put our stuff everywhere.
The third parties only need it because motherfuckers will actually buy multiple versions of the same game. There are people out here that would do it. So to them, they win because people are stupid. Like they're making money off of me simply because everybody in the house plays different stuff, so we get the same game especially the sports games 2-3 times. So this is a 2K house, so everywhere in 2K
and couch co-op literally don't exist anymore. So
yeah. If they do cross-platform games, it would be great if they could just be one version of Madden.
So I'm not gonna let that happen.
No,
not gonna let that happen.
Great. Like they literally laughed at Sega when they came up with Sega Snap for cross-platform games. So they're like, why are we making all these different versions of these games when you could just log into Sega.net or whatever with whatever console you got and play all our games on a server? Then at the time, it was unheard of technology to be to be able to sign into a server somewhere and play all the games regardless of whatever platform you had. So just strange stuff. But no, ShadowCast Wednesday, man. Other than that, do you play games, have fun, and to impress other people? That's all I gotta say.
No, the real question is do you play main or menu screens to have fun?
Touche, sir.
All right, so what you got for us?
So yesterday we had a Stormcast. What is some of the greatest space games? As we kind of looked back at Starfield, that last presentation that they had, the showcase that they had in July or June, whenever it was. I had a lot of fun with that. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go over there and check that out because it was hilarious. And then Friday, Jay was on the Vitoverse as well. We talked about anime and stuff like that. So make sure, shout outs to Trey Vito, that you go over there to his channel. Hit subscribe. You might be a little bit too late for the giveaway, but he's still doing giveaways and stuff like that. But that was an interesting conversation. I think it is so good now. Like he's trying to make a whole thing on that, like a whole side thing on that as well. So check that out. Usually you catch us here on Sunday. I will try and be on the Juices Loose podcast tomorrow. That's not promised because school hasn't started back yet. My son is still trying to practice for basketball. So still doing this giveaway. So 16 gigabytes, 8x2, 3200 DDR4 T-Force. Make sure that you check out the channel and try and go in there and fill out the stuff so you can try and win that because that is about a month. And if you've heard from Shadow, he said it already. 8 gigabytes at this point is standard, is the most standard one on PC at this point. So if you, for whatever reason, have 32 gigabytes of T-Force DDR4 in your stuff now, guess what? You can now have 32 gigabytes. But don't swap and switch because I ain't trying to mess up your machine and you come back at Sandstorm like you said this. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. So please don't forget the podcast will be next Saturday, not next Sunday. Also, if you have a chance, check out the Sea of Stars demo I played earlier today. That's up on the channel as well. The audio version of this podcast will be up on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music and Breaker Radio tomorrow sometime. So if you can't catch us, you can always listen to us, listen to the audio version.
Make sure you hit the like button.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. And if you're on Twitch, don't forget to follow. Is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think I'm missing anything else. Yeah. So that'll be it. Tuesday, 2:00 for the Gamescom opening night live. So live reaction. That will be Tuesday at 2:00. So probably start probably 1:45 or 1:50, depending on how everything goes. If I can get set up in time, I should be able to get set up in time.
Got one alibi. If anybody in the chat can get in touch with Let's Switch Games, let him know that podcast, the WinginIT podcast, will be happening on Saturday instead of Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Because he's one of the few of our over there followers that need to hop in. So please,
absolutely
get Let's Switch.
I wish I could find Wilson. Because
Wilson.
Wilson will hear it. He'll hear it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I actually have Wilson's information. He told me to give you guys the information, so I have that information. I'll send it
All
to
right,
you.
cool. Yeah. All right. So other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. We really do appreciate it. See you guys Tuesday and see you guys next Saturday. So we'll have something figured out by then. I'm pretty sure somebody do something stupid.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, somebody do something stupid this week. So we'll have something to talk about that by Saturday. So y'all have a good night. We'll catch you guys Tuesday. Peace out, people.
Later, y'all.
Where's my thing at? I don't even know what. Oh, there it is.